In today's video, you're going to learn how to send emails to WooCommerce customers using mail opt-in. Alright, so to begin, to get here, you'll just need to go to mail opt-in on the left and click on emails. And here I already have an email campaign, which is called Woo Notifications, and this is for a new post notification campaign. You can check out this video in the description down below. Right now, we're going to focus on an email digest and a broadcast. So we'll start by going to Add New, then Email Automation. Let's name this something simple like example 2. And the type is going to be post email digest. We'll use the Lucid template, and that's going to open up the email builder. And here we have a preview of the email. And on the left-hand side, we have our settings. So if we scroll all the way down, we can see what our email will entail. These are posts, but we'll have products. To configure this, we're going to go to settings on the left. And here we can see that we have our automation title. We have our email subject, which we can go ahead and change quickly. And if you want to, you can also go ahead and add some preview text. You can also change the maximum number of posts. Right now, the content type is set to post content. Post excerpt is also an option. You can also change the content length if you want to. And right now, by default, the post type is set to WordPress posts, but that can be changed to something else like floating elements or, in our case, products. And if we just shift our focus to the preview, we'll see that change. Here it is. Now, moving on, we have a number of different restriction options. For example, we have brands, product categories, product tags, and so on. And in our recipient tab, we'll need to select WooCommerce as the connection type. Once we do this, we'll see that we can restrict to certain products or certain customers. Moving on to the schedule section below, this is where we can determine when we'd like our email digest to be sent. There's every day, every week, every month, and then we can select the time. So if this is all you want to do and you're happy with your settings, you can go ahead and save your changes. However, if you'd like to customize your email, you can go back to the main menu in order to do so. So I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough of that process. If we move on to the body tab, we'll see two simple options, background color and custom CSS. Now, moving on to header, we'll see a general tab where you can find basic header options like changing the logo, text, and you can also remove the header if you want to. Simply by toggling this switch, we can now see the effect in the preview. And next, we have the style tab as well. This is where you customize your colors. Now we'll go back to the main menu and move on to content. We have two content areas. We can open the before main content editor. And here I'm just going to paste some text. And you'll notice that this text comes before our product list. There's also an after content area, which of course has its own editor. And this area is all the way at the bottom. So if you want to, you can always go ahead and open the editor and add your content. That could be text or media. There are a number of customization options here in this tab as well. There's also a style tab where you can customize your colors and font. Okay, we're going to go back and move on to footer. And here you have the option to customize the text for your footer, which is right here at the bottom. You can remove the footer. And there's also an option at the bottom of the settings panel to remove mail opt-ins branding. You can turn this setting on right here. And just like that, the logo is gone. Now, if you want to, you can always go ahead and send yourself a test email simply by typing in your email into this field and clicking on send. Once you're happy, save your changes one more time and turn the opt-in on. Okay, so this is basically how you would set up an email that contains a list of your latest products. All right, so at this point, we're going to move on to the next email type, which is going to be a broadcast. So we're going to exit out of this, and that's going to take us to the email dashboard. Now we'll go ahead and add a new email. The type will be broadcast. Next, we'll need to add an email subject, and then we will select a template. I'm going to use this Lucid template. And once again, we'll be taken to the email builder. We'll start with the settings tab, and here we'll see our email subject, a field for preloader, and an option to select a connection, which in our case will be WooCommerce. Once we do this, we'll see the option to configure our restrictions. We'll skip this for this example. Now in the body tab, we'll see options to customize our colors. For example, we can change our background color to something like blue. You can change your background content color and also your text color. So you can go ahead and customize this however you want to. And you might not want to make this pure black, but this is just an example. You can also add custom CSS. Now moving along, we have our header options. Now there's a general tab and the style tab where you can customize your colors. For example, we're going to make the link white and the text white as well. Okay, so we're going to go back and move on to content. And this is where you'd actually type in the content that you'd want to display in your email. Now, if you go to your style tab, you'll be able to adjust your font details. So as an example, this is me adjusting the font size. And you can also go ahead and select a different font family from the ones provided in this list. We can go ahead and move on to the next tab, which is footer. Again, we have a general tab with text options and styling options in the style tab. Now, if you want to, you can always go ahead and send yourself a test email to see how it would look. Once you're finished, you can go ahead and save your changes. Once your changes are saved, you can then go ahead and send your broadcast. Alright, so based on this configuration, an email will be sent to your WooCommerce customers. And if you ever want to check the status of an email, you can always check the logs tab in your email dashboard. So here we have a list of our email campaigns with the statuses for each one. And we can see that the last one we sent was processed. Alright, so I really hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching and see you next time.